Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing great. Hope you're all having a brilliant day, night, weekend whenever you are watching this. And hopefully you can just relax and chill with me for the next 15 minutes. Maybe we can paint together or just have a nice chat. First things first, you'll see that this is already part painted. I tried using watercolour on this first, and I don't know what was happening. It was almost like the paper was rejecting water. It just sat on top. It was really weird. And this is watercolor paper, but I'm not sure what was happening with it. So I then just decided to go over with gouache, which seemed to work fine. And I'll just have to make a note to myself not to use watercolor on this paper. You will see there that I actually don't move the watercolor palette for quite a while and just try to struggle working around it, which I don't know why I do that. So this is a painting of Zephyr from Castlevania. If you watch that show, please let me know. I completely love it now. It's my first introduction into anime. I suppose it's not anime. Americanized anime? Could you call it that? For quite some time. I used to watch a lot as a kid, and then I stopped watching it for over 10 years. And then I was suggested to watch this because it's vampires, and I still do quite like vampires. And yeah, pretty soon became obsessed with it and thought I just have to draw her because she's like a really strong character in it, and she's a mage. She's just really cool. So yeah, thought have to give her a go. And hopefully we can discuss a bit about the show, the character, and then also explain a bit about what I'm doing. So yeah, I don't know whether American anime is even a real term. If there's a name for it, or if you would describe it differently, let me know. Like I say, I'm new to anime again now, so, and I know it's got a huge following and probably distinct genres within. I'm guessing a lot of people probably wouldn't even call this anything to do with anime. Either way, it's a good show and I really enjoyed it. If you are into vampires, just I suppose dark creatures of the night, it's on Netflix, the UK one at least. There's a couple series and it is really good. It's a really enjoyable, fun watch. I proper binged it over a weekend. And then there's a sequel to it called Castlevania Nocturne. I haven't watched that yet. I'm planning to, but I've heard mixed things about it. So I don't know whether that's going to be good or not. I've heard some people say like, oh, it's not worth it. Some people say, no, it really is. You just have to watch the first couple episodes. I mean, I think I'm quite easily pleased with things like this, so I will probably enjoy it. So I'm really enjoying just drawing cartoons at the moment. I think since I'm new, I can see clearly where the shade and light should be in cartoons. It's much more clear cut. So while I'm still figuring things out, it's quite a nice, I suppose, cheat for me than drawing from a real person. Oh, and the swatches on the side, don't worry too much about them because I knew I wanted to do like a dark background anyway. I have also decided that this sketchbook is going to be my anime cartoon sketchbook. So I've already drawn Lenore, but I did that off camera. So she's another character in Castlevania. She's a vampire though, and the vampires are like the bad guys, I suppose. And actually her character confused me. If you've seen the show, I didn't know whether she was good or bad. I couldn't figure it out. But visually, I just loved her character design. So I had to draw her. But yeah, if you've seen the show, was she good? Was she bad? Did she just care for her sisters and that was it? I could not figure her out at all. Back to the painting. I've been painting a lot with gouache recently. And yeah, so I used to paint with watercolours and then I started painting with the acrylic paint pens just because I thought it would be easier to just have a pen that I didn't need to mix anything. And then I branched out to gouache and I'm really enjoying gouache and I'm actually really enjoying the fact that I do need to mix it because I think it makes getting the subtle shade difference easier than the pens because I can use the same base colour for a lot of things and just add and tweak slightly so that it all still looks cohesive. Whereas with the pens, it's a different pen. So sometimes, I want a blue and then I want a darker blue, but I want them to be in the same sort of blue family. But with the pen, it doesn't really work. One is like greener than the other. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the freedom I actually get with mixing the colours, which is something I thought would be a nuisance to me, which may sound really stupid to seasoned artists, but yeah, give me some grace, I'm new. I also just find the act of painting so therapeutic, especially with gouache because it's opaque and you can just see like a whole area just be covered in a couple swipes. I don't know why, but it's so satisfying to my brain. I still need some better brushes and hopefully I will get some soon when my I'm a Wonder ones come, which I am so excited for because the packaging alone for those brushes just looked so pretty. Hopefully this week, I'm hoping. Because at the moment, if I need to do any sort of detail outline work, I really struggle. I don't have a small brush. So any outlines, I still use a pen. And I'm not sure how good that is for my pen. But this brush set comes with a really, really fine detail brush. So then hopefully I can use that. I think there'll be a bit of a learning curve using such a fine brush and using a brush for details. But I think in the long run it will be better. And then also I can do outlines, of a darker shade than what the paint was used, rather than it always just being a black outline. So it just gives me a bit more flexibility as well. Watching this as I do the voiceover, I'm actually so impressed with that hand. In the video before this, I did a redraw of an I'm a Wonder painting, and the hand was so messed up. And I'm not saying this hand is perfect, but it's so much better. It's making me happy seeing that there's a improvement there. I also love rewatching these as I can just see it come together when you start adding the shadows and the highlights, because I think for a while it looks so flat as you just get the block colour down and then suddenly it starts to come to life a bit. That's why I love watching Paint With Me's. I just like seeing the process of it all come together, plus the ugly stage. I think when you're in it, you're a bit like, I'm never going to be able to fix this. Do I just stop? Whereas when you watch someone whose art you absolutely love and you sort of know that the end result's going to be amazing, you can sort of see their ugly stage and see that it's just a phase it has to go through until you add all the details, the shadows. So it helps you keep going. That's what I think anyway. So back on to Castlevania. So yeah, this character is a mage character and she does a lot with like fire, ice, electricity. I always love mage characters. Even when I game, I'm always a mage. So it was pretty obvious that she was going to be one of my favourite characters. I also just gravitate to female characters, so a female mage was always going to be my favourite. There were some other characters I loved though. So there's a vampire, but a good vampire in it called Alucard, and he will be my next drawing because yeah, I loved his character as well. I'm probably butchering all these names as well, even though I've watched the show. I just can't pronounce names. I don't know what's what's wrong with me. But hopefully, if you've watched the show, you know who I mean. If you haven't watched the show, then you can't tell that I'm butchering the names. So I start off with the darkest parts of the hair first, because if I go in with the lightest and just sort of cover it all, I end up losing my lines and I don't know where the shadows should then go. So yeah, I'll start with the shadows and sometimes I'll make them a bit thicker than they actually need to be, because then when I add in the block colour, it can thin that shadow out anyway. I did used to add in the block colour first for hair, but then trying to like remember where I'd put those lines, especially because gouache is opaque, it became a bit confusing. So yeah, next on my list is Castlevania Nocturne, because even if people say it's not as good, this was brilliant, so it can still be good and not as good. But I have also started finally watching Demon Slayer, which I am loving, and there's definitely going to be some drawings of that. And then one that I need to start up again, I watched it years ago, um, Full Metal Alchemist. I watched that back at uni, but I stopped watching as, if you've watched it, you'll know what I'm talking about. When the little girl gets fused with the dog, it just it broke my heart. it's it's my Roman Empire. Sometimes I still think about that. It really got to me, and I had to stop watching. Like I just couldn't get past it. It was so sad. Um, and my twin is a huge fan of Full Metal Alchemist, and she keeps saying like, just carry on watching it. But oh, it just broke my heart. But yeah, she's been what about 15 years trying to get me to watch that. Maybe not that long, but yeah, she absolutely loves it, and she was the one that got me watching it in the first place. And I did enjoy it, but God, it just got a bit too heavy for me. You are into anime, which I'm assuming you might be if you're watching this. Um, please put in the comments any other good suggestions. I am very new to it, so I probably haven't watched it, and I am really enjoying it. So any new suggestions, especially because I full on binge TV shows. I don't even watch movies because I want to be able to just sit there for an entire evening, like 6 hours, and just binge a show at a weekend. So yeah, if you have any good recommendations, please let me know. If you have any other characters you would like me to draw from either, yeah, Castlevania, Demon Slayer, please also let me know. Yeah, I want to do Alucard for sure. And then from Demon Slayer, I really want to do Nezuko. Just, I love her. And then probably Inosuke as well. I like the character design, so I just think it'll be a fun one to do. So now in the painting, I'm just getting to the finishing touches and then starting the black outline. My first idea was to do it almost as smoke rising, as if she'd just used fire or something. But then I thought it wouldn't really cover my swatches in the corner, so I just decided to go for like a really dark brown. But I do try and like stipple the bottom to give some sort of effect of smoke rising. I'm not sure how effective it is, but I still like the outcome at the end. I do love doing a dark background for pictures. I know some people will probably think it's quite boring to just have a solid dark background, but to me it just makes the main piece really stand out, depending what colours have been used. I also just, like I was saying before, I find it really satisfying to just see a whole chunk of a page covered by paint, like just covering those swatches. I love it. I'm really tempted to get the big set of jelly gouache, but I have a habit of getting overexcited about things and buying it and then not actually using it. So I'm going to wait until my other gouache runs out, try and be good, and not just jump into something because it looks fun. Use it once and then get rid of it. So here's where I tried to do the stippling. I don't even know where this brush has come from. Somehow it was in my pencil case. No idea where this has come from. No idea what you would actually even use this for properly, but it came in useful for this to create a sort of frame. And then after this, all I really do is go in and outline all the details, which I do off camera because I really struggle trying to do outlines and details. So apart from that, I'll put a clip at the end of how it looks. As always, thank you so much for watching and letting me ramble at you. Please like, comment and subscribe and have a brilliant day.